As you have noticed, we are creating some amazing murals. Y'all get some food.
So as we designed this mural project, one of the main goals was for the community to have ownership of the projects. So we hosted input sessions where folks from the community were coming to share their stories, give input on the themes, and to help the artists articulate the designs.
The fact that we've had so much input, people have told us this is what we want to see in the mural, this is what we don't, this is how you can represent us, and then give people the opportunity to put their hand in it, I think makes people all feel like they all own it.
One of the aspects that spoke with me during the mural process was, at the listening session, was we were asked, what do you want to see in this mural? And I remember being dead silent. Dead silent because we have never been asked those questions. So I think every individual family member that has made their way to America and have made America their home is how do we go back and reach back to our ancestral roots? So that kind of pushed me into wanting to know who I am, because if you don't know who you are, then it's very hard to be able to express and share with other people, because then you're lost. You have an identity here, but then you look different from that identity.
What else are you picking? So this is green rice. The reason why we call it green rice is it's at a state of just coming from the milkiness straight into the whole kernel. To get green rice, you have to go in there and you have to literally select each and every one of these stalks. You rarely will have other cultures that will do the green rice. It's heavily done in Laos, in the Hmong, in the Laotian community, because we want the sweet, wonderful, tender, aromatic, and colorful rice that we can consume. The food is what sets everybody apart. Then what the mural is teaching is that, we have celebrations, we have artistry, we have people that's willing to work with their hands. What it can teach us into thinking that this is something that's important and shouldn't be lost.
I feel like there is a different amount of, honestly, dedication with the community-based projects in areas like this. And it's really learned to step out and kind of get literally back to the roots and learn from the ground up, I think, is really important.
Welcome, CMI Talk Studios Community Paint Party. Let's go.
One of the things that I love about community engaged murals is that people have an actual hand in beautifying their neighborhood, and they're coming together to do it collectively. If you think about it, there are very few opportunities to actually do that. And with this process, hundreds of people can get involved in changing the look and feel of their neighborhood in a really big way.
So there was something about the poly tab that really brought it to the next level when it came to that invite, the invitation to participate. Like we were saying, not only do we want you to participate, but we are going to bring the canvas to you. And we're going to make it all a big paint by number, which so that anyone can come in and paint and be invited to do it. But really we're going to use the paint party, the community paint component as an excuse to get together in a different way. and to be in community in a different way.
I believe the value of the community being a part of the community paint process is ownership. I noticed that the kids loved it and the parents loved it. It gave them something to do. And I noticed that when I would walk them over to the table to show them where to get the paint and where the numbers are and show them a picture of what they're painting because it was hard to see. And I would say, hey, this mural is going to be over here, or hey, this mural is going to be over there. They're going to remember that. Like at the end of the day, the community, they won't remember me. They will remember that community paint party, and they're going to remember that mural being installed in their community, and they're going to say, I painted that. And I think that's what's most important.
Just having the community come out and help us paint those panels, it helps so much. When I was in my studio painting those panels, I was like, I'm so happy the community painted all these base colors so I don't, have to kill my wrists for about 2 more hours just with that solid color alone.
So I designed it, but I designed it with the group in mind. So they come in different styles. So what we're doing now is taking those different parts, and people are working on parts that they didn't originally paint. So the styles are kind of getting evened out.
I'm excited about piecing everybody's piece together and seeing how it looks. We worked hard.
Because they're broken down, the whole process is like a puzzle. You're trying to figure out the lines, what panel matches what panel. You're trying to align everything up so that once we put it on the wall, it just looks like one cohesive piece. So I would say that's a memorable part of this process, and just excited to see the final product. I know that it's going to be intense because we got to be on that bucket lift, and then we got to install 30 panels or 50 panels. I'm trying not to think about it so I won't have anxiety, but I can feel it in my bones.
So the first thing that you need to do when you get to your wall is, well, one thing, you're going to touch your wall, right? And you're going to feel how porous that surface is. And that is going to tell you a lot of things. Okay, and then we start, I don't know if you noticed, but there are Community Mural Institute is actually a project that is like shared between Commonwealth Murals in Massachusetts and Good Space Murals in Minnesota. And so we kind of brought our skill sets together the first time that we met and worked on a project together, and we were like, how can we get more artists trained to do this work? There were plenty of artists who had stories to tell and skill sets and desires to do this work that didn't have access to that same kind of training. And that there weren't programs like this that you could find in schools, in kind of institutions that were like more traditionally accessible.
To the corner. The last edge that you're gonna have. It's important all the time, and it's especially important on that last edge. You don't want any water getting on that side.
Would you help me with this one? Yeah. Okay, grab this edge. Okay, so I'm gonna put just little lines, and I'm gonna have you put little lines on that side. Okay. And then Jamil, would you start up the lift, and you're gonna bring us up just a little bit because we need to go a little higher. Okay, I want a little more on that top edge right there. I'm gonna do it while you hold it tight. So my role as being like the mentor or like a instructor for the Community Mural Institute is really interesting and unique because I'm working with adults who are already have a craft, can already mural, and are just figuring out how to kind of fine-tune their work and their practice to incorporate community hand or to do something like the polytab technique. And so it is really fun for me to get in there and be like, okay, I'm gonna step-by-step teach you best practices so that when you go out and promise to your community that this is going to last, it will, because you really know how to do it right. And one of the kind of the beauty of the Community Mural Institute and how it's designed is that we are theory and practice built into one. This feels like really good adhesion right here. Like this is really nice and in there.
I am very grateful for the CMI team for aiding with this process, like putting those panels up, then sealing, helping us paint, transporting whatever we need when we need it is, I really love that. extra hands-on kind of help. Yeah, it's been really grateful.
It has been an incredible learning experience. And this is my favorite part, I have to say. Seeing it on the wall and painting it on the wall.
So as these murals are being installed and I think about all the stories that are being told, all the people who've been involved, all the hearts and minds and hands that have been part of this project, I am so excited to go to this ribbon cutting party and see those stories be unfolded and the community to celebrate with them. It's going to be really remarkable. And I know those murals are going to be a legacy for years to come for the next generation of kids who are looking for role models and mentors. And our past and our present and our future are so beautifully illustrated in so many of those stories. So I cannot wait to see them.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank y'all so much for coming out this morning to help us celebrate this wonderful occasion. So, like someone was saying, when you look at this mural and you see these faces on this mural, you know, when you see my face up there, don't just look at me. It's not me. There's thousands of people in that face. You know, this is bigger than me. It's about our community. It's about all the people that we represent.
I was honored to be a model for the mural. Very much honored. I didn't understand it at first. I thought, now, why would you want me to do that? You know, and I thought, well, why not me? You know, there have been, you know, I feel like I can represent the healthcare essential worker piece of that relatively well. And I think that, you know, it's certainly a great opportunity. I mean, it's to be able to do even this, just sit down and talk about it and have discussions about something that's positive and something that's, you know, I think has opportunity to, you know, spark conversations in our community, you know, just get people talking about, you know, who we are and where we've been, our journey, you know, not just a journey, but where can we go from here? I think the mural inspires the people that it's depicting because it brings awareness, you know, to what they have done. And I think it, in some ways, honors them, you know, for the work that they've done and the work they continue to do. You know, we continue to be essential, whether people call us that or not. We always have been, and I think our roles, we always will be, you know, needed. So it's nice to have something like that to kind of immortalizes and you know, puts you out there. So I think that's great.
Having a community being involved is very important because the community feels a part of it. If you just throw something up downtown and nobody has a say, well, they think, oh, well, that group did that, you know, or this group did that. But with this being a community event and having community involved, they feel like that's a part of my town. That's a part of my community. I was a part of that with the diverse people in this community. You know, with the diversity of the different murals that are going up, the African American mural is one more added positive because there's it's not just about African American, it's about everybody.
So, you know, this does have elements about North Carolina School for the Deaf, but it is much more immensely rich than this. It talks about our culture, our language, our stories, how we have to navigate through the world. So I really want to say thank you to TOSS for making this happen. Thank you for making the North Carolina School for the Deaf feel valued.
If you can see through a piece of public art something that affirms and confirms your identity, then you don't have to feel alone. You don't have to feel by yourself. You don't have to feel isolated. If you know that there's something in that piece of art that connects with you or your past or your history or someone you love, then you are part of the world if you're part of the art. I want you to understand that you came to something you thought was important, that you put value in. That's good. But you're here because you have value and you're important. I applaud this particular work because it shows the 360-ness of a working woman's life. That you again, we don't have the luxury of picking one thing. We're called to do a lot of things. And answering that calling is important not just for our families, it's important for every family. Encouraging women in their calling, in their callings, is important for the whole community.
So the legacy of the mural project is really special. It doesn't end here with the conclusion of our murals. It's going to live on through the workshops that we're doing with students in schools and our after-school program. It lives on in the walking tours that we conduct that share the idea of identity and belonging through our cultural heritage and opportunities for the future. It's going to live on in the ways that we bring the stories to life through creative iterations down the line. So there's really a beautiful legacy of continuation, and I'm excited to see how these murals are going to impact and influence and encourage folks going forward.